Alright, last week it deleted the first half hour. So I played some drums last week, so I thought, I'll do it again. And then we have special guests coming up. It's going to be really cool. And maybe, hopefully, maybe he'll do some drums too. I don't know. Not promising. We'll see. Anybody else, musicians, I was thinking you could grab your instrument. We could jam along right now. gongs. I think I hit them all. All right, that's the drums. All right, hey guys, a little fun intro there. Yeah. So today, it's another Friday happy hour, or yeah, I guess it's happy hour we can call it. Hopefully things are getting better, but I'm not sure. Still seeing a lot of stuff out there, things happening that are still crazy and unbelievable. So anyways, I've got a great drummer that's going to come on and hang out with us. Let me see. If you are there, Steven, can you send me I believe a request? I don't even know what name you're going under. So yeah, we posted, I guess that's not really a big secret. We posted that Stephen Perkins was going to come hang out with us today. I don't know if a lot of you people know, Perkins plays with Jane's Addiction, amongst many other things that we can ask him about, see what he's up to. But he, sorry, I'm looking at names. There he is. Okay, yeah, let's get him in. Come on, dude. Going live. Is he there? Is he there? Is he there? Connecting. Hey, oh my gosh. You got more gongs than I do. That's not cool. Come on.
And I've got a bigger mallet.
Oh, of course.
So
you want to make some sounds?
We've got a big Zildjian to warm things up.
Nice.
Hi, Steve. Hi, Tim.
That's awesome, man.
So, you know the vibration of the gong.
Yeah.
And how slowly the sound waves move and how they keep moving even after we don't hear them anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I really think those vibrations help flowers grow and grass grow, and they keep the bees in rhythm, and they keep the grasshoppers chirping and clicking.
Wow.
I think vibrations, ever since the very first tree falling and hitting earth, those sounds don't disappear. They must be somewhere floating around. They're just waves.
Yeah, I always wonder about that. You know, the sound travels at a certain speed, and then light travels. But when a light or sound gets so small, yeah, where does it go? Is it still in a vibration? I mean, it must be at a super small rate, you know?
Absolutely, because we're looking at stars that are thousands of light years away. What sound that is thousands of
millions
millions
of light years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was trying to remember the very first real hangout. We've done so many back in the 80s, but our little trip through England when Primus and Jane's were so fresh, we were so green.
Yeah.
And we put up great shows together. And I mean, really for the audience's delight, the sound of tribal West Coast rhythm.
Yeah.
And all across the pond, and did some good work. I think we did some great work and left some good seeds for other music to grow out of.
Well, that's very true. Yeah, that was just for people to know. One of our first, on our first album, I believe, first or second, or it was the Frizzle Fry album, I believe. And yeah, we got to fly over to England, and we were touring with this band, Jane's Addiction. And we're like, whoa, who is this? You know? And then, yeah, it was awesome to see you guys. And we had been, I remember it was such a big deal. You guys were on the cover of, I think, Spin, or was it Spin, or was it, what was the big magazine back then?
Yeah, there was, you know, the
Rolling Stone, maybe?
Rolling Stone had their foot in the water for so many years that Spin actually was cool for a minute, and it was we were on the cover of Spin.
Oh yeah, man, I remember that, and just we were like, oh wow, we were totally excited to be, you know, on tour with you guys. So yeah, I don't know if people knew that, but yeah, the Jane's was one of our first tours that we ever did. So, and you guys, I think you had just done the Ritual album, right? Was that the album you're touring on?
You know, I'm not sure if it was Nothing Shocking or Ritual, but we were, you know, we didn't do much of touring across the pond there. We did a little bit of Europe and England, but those shows still are very tight to my memory of great times, great food, friendship, you know, checking out the culture, hearing about these famous clubs through the years and be able to play them.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. And just so everyone, Steven used to have all this hair too. And you had these fans blowing on you. And when he's playing, man, the arms are going, the hair is like flying. It was such a great presence.
Oh man, thank you. And
yeah, you still do.
And
I one of the most biggest things I remember about your drumming and is you kind of created, not created, but you kind of made apparent in the heavier music, the bouncy kind of feel. Like people called us funk thrash.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not a big funk drummer, but I get it, you know, less with the bass and they might associate that with. But your drumming was way more hoppier.
Mm-hmm.
But your other musicians weren't even, what do you call it? They weren't even bringing that kind of funk feel. You know, they were more rock. So having your bounciness in those grooves, like, you know, Been Caught Stealing and that bounciness is like no one was doing that. So that's what I always remember, like thinking when you were playing was like, man, there's no one that plays like that, you know?
That's great, Tim. I mean,
yeah.
And your dedication to the sophisticated linear, you know, part that when you take a left turn, it is very sharp and everyone is alerted and there's an event. You have a lot of drumming and that's what's great about, you know, jazz drummers. They all had a personality and they brought something to the table, the recording. And then through Motown and a little bit of the rock in the early 80s, the drummer was just this anchor. But with Primus and Jane's and the Pumpkins and Tool and Rage, Pearl Jam, every drummer had their own personality.
Yeah, cool.
And the late 80s, early 90s, where the drummer, in a sense, had that position that the jazz drummer had. We had our own sound, our own personality. The great bands had great drummers. And, you know, like the Police or King Crimson, you know, there's very sophisticated in the hybrid of a bunch of styles, but in a rock atmosphere. And that's what I love about Primus is the dedication to it's sophistication. It's sophisticated. And that's not easy to bring that to the heart. And you guys know how to mend the heart with the gray matter, you know, and it's amazing. So, you know, and now the love of chimes and bells and gongs, I've always shared that with you. And I appreciate what you do on the recordings, like Minutemen, George Hurley and Firehose, Stuart Copeland. A few drummers know how to really use the cymbals as a musical instrument, not just an explosion at the end of a fill. And I thought you were so great at, you know, threading drum and cymbal together as they're both very essential in the part. And I like to, you know, like the drummer from the you know, Susie and the Banshees,
Oh
Budgie,
yeah, yeah.
you know, and Bauhaus, and, you know, Kevin Haskins. There's a real understanding of how to use every instrument and make them just as important as the other. And I always thought that was great about your drumming. There was a lot of imagery and stereophonic experiences just with the drum set. So many colors, you know, and that's, and besides, like you said, the word funky, because you choose interesting parts that are funky, but it's not funk drumming. It's really it's miraculous, and you know, and you're one of a kind, and that's what I think. A personality shows up in the playing, and those are my favorite players. I never got to know Keith Moon, but you think you get to know him through his drumming, you
Yeah.
know. And a lot of people who never met you, which I've been very blessed to know you through the years, they know that you're dedicated. You think about what you're going to say and what you're going to play, and what you say you mean, and what you play you mean it, and then, you know, there's no reason. You're a deliberate person. You're very deliberate, and that's a great, you know, quality. So thanks for having me. First of all, before we get into an even a deeper conversation, thanks for having
Yeah.
me in the world of drummers, and, you know, to share the drum set and the gongs with everybody.
Oh man, yeah. And just thank you. Well, geez, thanks for all that, man. You know, to me, I'm just trying to make some music, you know. So it's really hard. It's interesting that people can, like you or anybody else, can get so much out of it when we're playing. We're just trying to play, you know. We're trying to keep the beat. We're trying to make it sound good, you know. But yeah, I guess hidden in there are all of this internal stuff that isn't just right on the surface, you know.
Absolutely.
It's wild.
And,
Yeah.
like, any hard times that people go through personally, or now for the last 100 days, this global dark cloud
Right.
that we're feeling from here to Tel Aviv to Timbuktu to Tallahassee. Everyone is feeling this fear and this uncertainty and disappointment. And, you know, there's a way, the silver lining, I think, is not only this internal time that people have alone. If they have a craft or a hobby, you can fine tune it and shape it and reflect and mirror all this pain, because, you know, not that we were happy and comfortable before it hit, but we had a rhythm. Life had a rhythm before this hit, and the rhythm
Yeah.
has just been knocked off its axle. The rhythm is gone, and each day seems to blend, like the last day and tomorrow could be the same as today, and yesterday feels the same, and you start to really lose these markers of accomplishment, markers of social skills by meeting new people or experiencing people. And so I think the silver lining is we're all going to get better at our craft, and we're all going to have the blues. And, you know, when you get the blues, you got something to say with your music and your art and your film and your poetry. So I think hopefully this is going to stir up some great music after this, and a lot of, you know, just like America's rock and roll in the 50s was rocking around the clock.
Right.
England was still living in World War II rubble, and out comes Black Sabbath and Cream and Zeppelin because of their surroundings. We didn't have
Right.
that dark in American music until Vietnam, and then the American music went dark with the Doors and Grateful Dead and Jimi Hendrix, even though he was displaced in England. There was a lot of American pain, and there was
Yeah.
something to think about, and it's not good or bad. It was food for creativity.
Yeah.
So
In terms of rock, yeah, like you said, in those 70s music, that was a huge time for all of that discomfort from Vietnam and things. But even before that, you know, I think a lot of people probably didn't get to hear it, but I mean the black influence from the blues, those early blues from all of, like you were saying, a lot of pain. And there's been comedy bits about it, about how Eddie Izzard, he's one of the guys. I love his comedy. He does a whole bit about the religious and the gospel singers are like the most joyful singers, but it all comes out of slavery, rape, imprisonment, and brutality. And their music is so powerful and joyful, you know. And so yeah, I just want to bring that
There
up
is,
too. Like, yeah, there's been a lot of music coming out of a lot of struggle from as far as probably this country has been able to record music and have it spread around, you know.
well,
So,
yeah, the technology has always been there. Now there's a race to make it better as far as latency and collecting people together to make music at the same time. But the
right,
technology is catching up now, to what the consumer, so to speak, needs to stay in contact with friends and family and do business and even make records. We've heard about
right,
people making, globally for years. I do my session here, you do yours in Japan. But now we want to do it at the same time and enjoy each other because we're not able to get together. So the technology is opening up these new doors and also these new, I guess, avenues how to connect people. And hopefully when this is somewhat of a memory and we can see each other in person, all this technology and all this knowledge, all this growth that we're seeing really quickly happen will help us, live healthier, stronger, but also more efficient lives because you realize time is so quick and, it's so relevant that
yeah,
a day now feels like it's day after day. On tour, every day is a Saturday because you're playing gigs. But
right.
during the pandemic, it's every day is a Monday. There's no gig.
Oh man, it's crazy. Hey, I just wanted to. Do you want to play a little, make some sound for the people, and then you don't have to. I was going to say you don't have to stay behind there if you want to get up close and see what people are saying and stuff like that. Last week I started the show with a little drum, I was calling it like the drums of peace or something. I just did some rhythms to kind of maybe put good vibes out there.
Yeah.
So since you're one of the best, you want to give some good vibes, and then you could come up closer so people can see you and we could look at questions and,
Absolutely.
you feel
Yeah.
like doing that?
Yeah. This rhythm reminds me of what you might find in Africa if you're walking with animals in the Serengeti. I like to use the environment and the visual to put me in this place. And if I think about New York City, there's a rhythm that's going to come out of me. If I think about walking
Wow.
through the Serengeti or something else. So I try my head in that space, just like eating food. When you eat Mexican food, but you're in a Mexican restaurant, you hear Mexican music, everything starts to taste better.
Right.
So
Have you been there?
I have. No,
Oh, wow.
is Deep Africa a real visit? I have not. But as far as my music, my food, my culture, I try to bring it to me as much as possible.
Oh,
And
okay. Yeah.
and like anything with music, it really takes you places. But I haven't had the honor to take the music or myself to Africa. But
All right.
this
Well,
beat,
yeah, people are definitely saying they'd love to hear some good vibes. So, yeah,
all right,
go for it, and then we can hang out.
all right. Just take a
I'll,
breath.
I'll,
Let's
I
a
get to
beat.
listen and hang out. All right, man. Nice. Yeah.
Get a closer look.
Yeah. Come on up and let's hang out. I'm getting hot in my studio. I do not have any air conditioning. I do not have any ventilation in this room. There's
Oh,
some of
that could be a
Perkins' drums
problem.
back there. So I think I'm going. Oh yeah, look at those, dude. Perkins has the great kit, man. And you play
So
DW, right?
I like to get as many colors. Yeah, it's a DW kit, and I've got every possibly think of. The goal is to don't forget the rudiments and sit at the snare drum and work on that. But when
Right.
you're feeling creative, having all these different colors and different sounds, to me is a real chance to be sensitive, more to choose from. So your sensitivity and your emotions and your dynamics have somewhere to go.
Yeah, hey, your signal is a little weird. Come on back. There you are. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe see if you can find a good signal spot because I'm losing you. There you go. Seems like it's better. Are you there? Are you there?
So
Are you there?
now that yeah.
You're it's you're cutting out a lot. Dang. Come on,
So
man. Okay, there you are.
now that there's time to get to know yourself and your family,
Yeah.
there's a better way to live, and I guess that's really what we're after now, is figuring out how to take care of ourselves and the earth for the future, and still have a sense of humor about life. You have to. It's hard.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to say, you were talking about, I remember going to, gosh, man, when is this? Early 90s. I got to go over to your house. You're at the same place, right?
We have moved, but the back
Oh,
room is kind of identical. I still have the back room, which is the big jam room with a small control room, and this one is we learned our lesson.
where are you? Still in LA, right?
We're in Los Angeles, yeah. We're in Studio City, but
Oh,
you know
okay.
the thing is now, it's like having time to go in the drum room. It's always been my dream to have a drum room. So even if I'm not in the mood, I got to remember that was my dream, and how lucky I am to have that. So
Yeah.
just go
Yeah,
for it.
I wanted to tell everybody. I remember going to your place back in the 90s, man, and I was walking through your house and like every little corner and along the hallway, every little table had some little noise knick-knack music thing sitting around.
That's right.
And I remember that, like, I was thinking to myself, God, that's what my house should be. I should have that because I used to think the same thing, like, all these cool African stuff and just wherever it's from, just have all that stuff around. And like you've done it with your kit, and me and you and many other drummers, like in the 80s was a big influence of, like the African influence on Western music. A lot of,
Absolutely.
if you listen to some of those bands on the 80s channels, man, and there's like huge drums and rhythms going on. And
Absolutely.
guys from Peter Gabriel was, one of the big ones. Obviously he brought rhythms into all his music, and he even did it to the point where, on the Security albums, like there's no cymbals. Like
Exactly.
he just made rhythms like the backbone of the songs, and I think
What? Go ahead.
you and I are kind of in that boat of like rhythmic, and we like the cymbals and the gongs too, but and the music we play kind of, you have to be careful too. You can't be too weird,
No.
in a sense that it's too strange for people, and then you get off into this weird avant-garde category. And we
Exactly.
do have to look at this. It is business in a sense, I mean, this is how we pay our bills. This is, so we want people to enjoy it, follow us,
Yeah,
come see shows,
yeah,
you know.
exactly. Yeah, and it's
Otherwise,
great to be
yeah,
abstract because we all have abstract ideas and feelings.
right.
But there's something great, like you mentioned, Peter Gabriel or Bill Buford from King Crimson. If you take this
Oh yeah,
abstract rhythm and then repeat it over and over and make it feel in line of somehow a normal rhythm, but if you just
yeah,
dissect it, it's quite odd. And Primus is great at that. And there's a sense where, you know, me and you writing a drum beat, it could have been written on a djembe with our hands. We just happen to be
right,
sitting at the set. So
right,
we don't think hi-hat, kick, snare, or ride cymbal with eighth notes. We're hearing
right.
rhythms and accents and playing off each other. And
I
so
tell
there's
you,
that.
yeah, sorry. I one of the biggest approaches that I have in doing drums, unless the music is like literally like, okay, it kind of needs to be like a John Bonham thing. Then you're like, okay, this is kind of how it needs to be. Otherwise, I always looked at it. Oh man, I'm losing you again. Are you there? Are you there? Come on back, Steven. There he is. Um, I was saying I always look at it like almost like a drum machine. I had this conversation with Steve Smith
Yeah.
many years ago. That Journey song he did, "Don't Stop Believing." It's this crazy linear pattern he does, and he said that's kind of the same thing he did. Was he approached it like a drum machine, where you will have different levels of stuff happening at the same time, these patterns over top of each other. And that's what he did on Don't Stop Believing, a huge hit of pop music. But yet he was able to bust out some crazy linear patterns and still make it feel good. And that's the magic right there, is
Yeah.
being able to do that.
True, and also to find the right partners where musicians are like-minded, almost like a great tennis match. You can't be that much better than the other player. You want to challenge each other, but you want to rally. You want to have,
Yeah,
you want to give it your all, but you also want
right.
to have a game. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
you know,
And
it's
everyone's
great.
got to make this great picture happen. You can't have one super amazing artist and then everyone else is struggling to draw.
And I
Yeah.
love that, Stevie Wonder or Prince or,
Right.
even, they surround themselves or did with different musicians through the years that are always just challenging, but can rally back and have ideas, but are also understanding the art of the songwriter, you know? And so
Right.
there's a lot that goes into that, especially with drumming. And, now I'm 52 and I know, you're probably around the same age. Yeah, there it is.
55.
So,
I got the old.
there's a sense that drumming is what keeps us happy and young, because to feel at 15, I feel the same way when I play drums at 52. There's it, there's an athletic side of it, but also this Zen side. And you can be running as hard as you can doing double bass, but also be completely relaxed in your head and in this kind of yoga meditation state, but your body's still going for it. And I think
Right.
finding that as a 15-year-old, unbeknownst to us, that we were in a meditated state, and we were we never age. When you play drums, you really don't age. You're in the moment, and you could be any age. Not like an athlete
Losing you again, man.
someday has
Are you there?
to hang up his just keep going.
Yeah. Well, I lost some of that towards the end because your signal was cutting out. But yeah, I agree, man. I often I sit around and
Well,
think like, man, I'm an old man, but in my head I'm like, gosh, it's sometimes I feel like I'm still just that 15, 17-year-old, and it's so weird. Like, is something wrong with me,
well, I bet the last 3 months aged Angus Young than 30 years of touring. not getting on stage and not going for it every night is probably making him feel like an old man just
I
sitting
know.
there.
A couple weeks ago, this was all dark, and now it's gray.
Exactly.
um, now a couple questions. Well, first, what is going on? Like, are you doing Jane's Addiction stuff, or are you yeah?
Well,
Do you have
there's me and Dave always want to be Jane's Addiction and never not be. With songs, the feeling we get when we play it, and the experience that we all share doing it with people in the room. And Chris Chaney has blessed us with his bass playing for 20 years and has just been a constant reminder of perfection. And, me and Navarro and Perry are these street musicians that want to play, different every performance. We try to make it a little different. And so Chris is a really good reminder of how to keep us, hey, don't forget how you guys wrote the record was pretty good too. That was also, don't forget that original way. But
right?
I think there's a future because we all love each other and we love the music. And I think it's good for the world. Like you guys are going to do the, Farewell to Kings music celebration. People need to see quality players play quality songs. And so I think Jane's can supply that. And I want that again.
Oh yeah.
I'm here with this, Think EXP, like Think. And we've been doing a Think Floyd experience for the last year in this dome in Los Angeles where we project images on the ceiling. So people are actually looking up and not at the band. We have futon beds and with subs in them or, bean bags. So that was before pandemic knocked us off the charts. It was an exciting every 2 weeks concert we were doing downtown LA with Think. So we're trying to figure out
Who was in that? Who was doing that?
Norwood on bass from Fishbone, Kenny Olson on guitar from Kid Rock, Scott Page on saxophone from Pink Floyd.
Wow.
And it's just a great band.
I lost you,
Like
dude.
everybody else, it's an experience you want to change. It's not something you want to stream and a room with people. But I do have my home studio running, and it's feeling great back there. So I'm enjoying these like on and off sessions and some of these put together songs where different musicians do something at different times and you kind of piece it together. So that's been, a good way to keep me busy. But I really do miss that creative feeling you get when you're all together in a room and that tennis game we talked about, I really like to play. But I've been finding this wonderful experience with my kid who's 10. It's been a hard summer so far because he doesn't see his friends, but I'm trying my best to act like a 10-year-old and get into that headspace, and show him a good summer. And, I'll keep myself aware and alert of all the news, but don't let that steer or guide my day and my happiness or sadness,
Yeah. Have you encountered any of the protests? Have you encountered any of the stuff that we see a lot of that's happening?
Well, personally, I've been safe at home, but I've been also feeling the urge to make music that has substance, music that has relevant, in the moment, topical. But I can't lead a drum circle, but I want to. I'm feeling that feeling. I want to be surrounded by people. So I've done this 3 times. I'm ready to do another one. It's called the MS Rocks Drum Circle, where I get a webinar. We get 30, 60, 80 drummers there, and I'm leading the drum circle, but most of the drummers are on mute. And they listen to me and they join along, and it's Rock Against MS, which we call RAMS, has been putting these rock concerts on for years in LA, and I've talked to Nancy who runs it, and we've been doing these, beat MS drum circles in person over the years, but now there's really a need to do it online. And so we've learned a lot about how to pull it off on the Zoom webinar, but we've had up
Yeah.
to 60, 80 people at once watching me, and then I'd unmute them and say hi to people. So I'm trying to find a way to play music in front of people, because I think, you know, no matter how much you play alone, even though sometimes your best playing is alone, you know, there's something great
Yeah.
about the reaction I get and you get when you play the drum, and you get people to move their body, and it's a real healing, not only for the guy playing, but also the people enjoying it, the audience, the listener. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to
And the
find a,
volume.
yeah, man, I
Have it
do a lot of
cranked.
this, you know, home studio and jamming alone, but I'm ready to do some more live gigs. And I know some Fishbone just announced it with Ozo Motley, the drive-in theater type concert in Ventura County next week. And if the cars
Next week already.
well, it's in the car. So you drive up, and then you get your Bluetooth station and you lock in. There won't be any loudspeakers. And the band plays, and you listen inside your car, or you get on top of your roof and you party. But you all have your own little circle, your own distance to other people. So I know Fishbone and Ozo Motley is hungry. They want to do it.
Yeah, I know, man. I love that idea. I now is the time, man, for all those big empty movie theaters that are just sitting there. Open them up, man. It would be so cool.
It's perfect. And, you know, it's a way to socialize and still feel there's a safety net.
Yeah.
Because we really don't know all the information. No one really knows all of it. It's a living organism that keeps changing, and that's the information I'm talking about.
Yeah. I know back where in Riverview, Michigan, we've got some of the people on here watching are from Michigan up there. We had a big drive-in theater in that city. We used to go there when we were kids, and like we would, you know, throw a guy into the trunk or and sneak him in. And so those are the good drive-in stories there of Stephen, we lost him again. Signal. Come on, LA. Stephen Perkins, you guys. I'm still good, I believe. So yeah, we're talking with Stephen Perkins here. Jane's Addiction drummer, most well known. Jane's Addiction was up. Yeah, we lost his signal. He'll try to come back, I'm sure. But yeah, the first Primus tour back in one of our first tours back in the early 90s, maybe even late 80s, was we went to England, and we met up with this band Jane's Addiction, and you know, it was pretty life-changing at that point. You know, those guys are so amazing. And so Steven is one of the nicest guys and has remained that way all these years. He's always got this happiness about him. If we can get him on again, maybe we can get deep into that. Geez, our hour's almost gone. So last week, the Instagram did something. It cut me off halfway. I was talking with Chino. Hopefully this will save. Hopefully the full hour will save. And so I don't have to try to, it took me a couple days to figure out how to get back on there. But anyways, Perkins, if you are watching still, we lost you, man. So yeah, Stephen Perkins, you guys check out Jane's Addiction. Hold on, what's going on? Soya's here. Soya. We got Tim Soya coming on. Let's see what he has to say. What's up, dude?
He asked her to
You talking to me?
She didn't know.
Well, yeah, you requested to come on.
I'm trying to get it to work and get onto my little speaker so I can hear you guys talking better. And all of a sudden, I'm looking at you.
Oh, okay.
That's funny, man. How are you?
All right. I was just talking with Perkins, and he
Yeah,
cut
we were
off.
just
So
me and Nancy were just sitting here watching it, and then we walked around the corner and our speaker went out. So I tried to rehook it back up.
all right, let me see if I can get him back.
Okay, man.
All right, see ya. Yeah. So that was Soya, who was. Gosh, I wonder. put it in the message. So yeah, were you on that first tour with us with Jane's Addiction? I don't remember. We went over there, flew on the big plane to England, and we were just, music career was just starting, and we're sitting back in this right next to the smoking section when they had smoking sections on the planes. And yeah, it was crazy, man. We were definitely thought it was cool. They had their own catering, which means they had their own chefs with them. They had the best food back before the shows, and those guys just put on a great show. So Jane's Addiction, you guys, if you guys don't know, I know this is music from the 90s, but if you guys haven't, check them out. They're awesome. So yeah, we've got some Michigan guys. Goob's here. Yo, yeah, what was it called? The drive-in? We were in a drive-in in Michigan. It doesn't matter. Anyways, yeah, I think the drive-in thing is a very good idea. I hope everyone's wearing your mask still, okay? The cases have been going up like crazy, and they're gonna start shutting everything down again, so try to be conscious about that, whether it's whatever it is, right or wrong, or if you don't believe in it, just do it so we don't have to shut down so much stuff. Because if people aren't going to follow any kind of protocol, then people are going to or the governments are just going to keep closing everything down until people get it right, Yeah, someone is saying get Philip Fisher. So that's Fish from Fishbone. Yes, I need to get Fish on here for sure. He will be. Oh, Perkins just said his phone shut down, said emergency heat. So all this amazing drum talk just overheated his phone, so he couldn't handle it. Apple's going to have to fix that. Get the drum app in there so that it can handle talking about rhythms. Anyways, yeah, well, thanks for coming on. We had Stephen Perkins on. Anyways, little promo. We got herb cider, gear, and cider available at our website, herbcider.com. And you can join a club too, where you don't have to think about it. We can send you stuff 4 times a year. And this is our so-called happy hour time right now. And we got about 10 minutes left. So Sam says, sweet guest. Yes, he is. And there's definitely no doubt about it. He's one of the sweetest, greatest drummers I've ever known. This guy says, hit Bill Burr up. He talked about you on the podcast a few times. Yeah, a drum solo request from Shama Alexander. Oh, I wonder who that is. All right, yeah, maybe I'll finish this with some more drumming vibes. But yeah, I need to hit Bill up. He said he might come on and hang out with us, talk drums, because he is a drummer too. So I'll see if I can get him on here at some point. All right, can you guys see that? All right, so let's send out some possible positive vibes, play some rhythms. Like Stephen Perkins said, the vibrations, man. I don't know if the vibrations can get through this phone well enough, but we'll send them out there. All right, almost done. Those gongs are crazy cool, aren't they? They make some cool sounds. All right, thanks you guys for joining us. We're just hanging out today. Yeah, everyone try to be cool out there. Don't be doing anything stupid. Wear your masks too. Don't hassle anybody. If we just did that, maybe it would be cool. You know? Taking care of business. Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, looking at some of the questions here. If anybody got any questions, we've got just about 5 minutes left. Stephen Perkins, thanks for having me. Yeah, man, for sure. Thank you for coming on. He is one of the best. And maybe when all this stuff gets done, you guys go check out Jane's Addictions. And yeah, maybe we can, not Jane's Addictions, Jane's Addiction. Maybe we get a Primus, bring it back like we did, what was that, 30? It's got to be 30 years now. So maybe we can do one of those things. Jane's Primus tour, right? Wouldn't that be cool? Anyways, you guys, if you get a chance, you want some good drinks, go over to the herbcider.com. And like I'm doing right now, I'm drinking the old Black Note. This is a blackberry. We got organic apples, no added sugars. So get on there. You can order up if you just want to do one order, or you can join the clubs where we can actually keep you on file and send you stuff. So anyways, yeah, 4 minutes left. Let's see. We got a question. What was the name of the lead guitarist for Fata Morgana again? Well, that was my friend Luis who did the recording, and then my friends in the band Fred Green in Arizona do live shows, and they recorded on it as well. So, and we're working on new stuff. So I'm trying to put that together. Anyways, I feel like I'm wasting everyone's time now. So we got a couple minutes. Why don't you guys go ahead, have a drink, try to have a nice evening. And next week, we'll probably do another one next week on the Herb Cider here, okay? Yeah, my wife says it's one of her my wife's favorite bands is Jane's Addiction. She used to snowboard and listen to Jane's Addiction all the time. So anyways, yeah, I'm being told it's dinner time. Thank God. I'm hungry. And you guys be safe out there, okay? Yeah, get in touch. You can go onto the Herb Cider site and send me emails. Maybe if I feel like I don't, you know what? Don't do that. I'm not going to check them, so don't worry about it. Just kidding. All right, you guys. Thanks, Sam. Good to see you. Thanks for joining in. People all over. I wonder if anyone South America. We usually get some South America people in here. And Jess is here. Yo, Jess, what's up? Okay. Thanks to Perkins again. You guys start streaming or listening, put on the CD, do whatever you do. Put on some Jane's Addiction. It's amazing. I'm not kidding. And you'll understand what that bouncy rhythm that Perkins have. That's like he's got that personality, bouncing, happy. You can hear it in his drumming too. So check it out. All right. I'm going to get off here, man. I'm just wasting you guys' time.